Hello, everybody. So today we are going to be tackling your favorite word problems, yes. And we're actually going to be doing system of equation type word problems, okay? And predominantly how I'm going to solve these, just to kind of speed up some time here, is I am going to use the calculator method that is in one of your lessons. So if you're not familiar with this, we're actually going to be using the matrices to solve our systems. So you will need your calculator, so please go grab that if you need to. Okay. Now, we're gonna kind of just go right in with it with an example. However, we want to understand something here before we begin. Now, I get all the time from students, okay, obviously they could read the word problem, but they're not sure how to start. Where do you start at? Well, I know I've given it away that we're going to be doing systems. However, here's just the deal. If you have one variable, so one thing that you're studying, okay, you're only going to have then one equation. Okay? And then just go with that for one moment. Now, if you've got two variables, two things that you're working with, you are then going to have two equations, and so forth. So, 3 variables would yield 3 equations, and 4 variables would yield 4 equations, and so forth. Okay? Now, since we're dealing with a system here, how many equations do you think we're going to be dealing with? That's right, 2 equations. So our goal here is going to be, how can we take this word problem, analyze it? We need to pick out what exactly are the 2 variables and how can we create 2 equations out of it. Okay, so let's look at number 1 just to illustrate the idea. So number 1, 2 groups of students went to a pizza parlor. One group paid $25 for 2 small pizzas and 5 small salads. Okay? The other group paid $30.90 for 3 small pizzas and 2 small salads. What is the cost of a small pizza? Okay, so what can you tell here? What are the variables? What exactly are we dealing with here? Okay, I see pizzas and I see salads. So how many variables is that? How many things is that? Right, it's 2. So we need to take this word problem here and try to set up 2 equations because we have 2 variables. Okay? So just for consistency's sake, I'm going to use P for pizza. So we've got pizza. Okay, we've got salads. Okay, and those are the 2 variables that we're going to be dealing with here. Now, we also know, when you read this, we know how many pizzas, we know how many salads, but we're also given this $25. It's not a variable, it's just what the total is between the 2. So I'm just going to name this total over here. All right. Now, can we set up something over on this side? Okay, so we've got the 2 variables, yes, but what are the other 2 things that we're talking about here? Right, the 2 groups. So we've got group 1 and we've got group 2. All right, and now it's just a matter of filling in the slots as to what goes what. So for example, group 1 ordered how many pizzas? Well, one group paid $25 for 2 small pizzas, so I'm going to call that 2P for 2 pizzas. Plus, didn't they order some salads too? So they ordered 5, so I'll call it 5S. And I know it's going to be equal to, how much did they pay for that? $25. Okay? All right, so that's our first equation here. You see we set up one equation. We need to get the other one now. So group 2, what did they get? The other group paid $30.90 for 3 small pizzas, so 3P. And they ordered 2 salads, and that's going to equal $30.90. Okay? So, this is the 2 equations. You can see that this is a system. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use our calculator to solve this thing. Okay? What exactly is the price of P? What is the price of S? Okay? So, let's see if we remember how to do this, guys. So turn your calculator on. You're going to go into your matrix menu by hitting second matrix. Scroll over to edit. Now you may have some stuff already written in here from practicing, and hopefully you do from practicing. Well, all we're going to do is just write over it, so don't stress over that. So hit enter. The dimensions of this, it's always going to be a 2 by 3. So 2 by 3. And now we just plug in the numbers here. So we've got 2, 5, 25. Then we've got 3, 2, and 30.90. Okay? So we've got our stuff in here. Now, how do you actually get the calculator to do the calculating part of this? How do you get it to compute the system? Well, you go back and you hit second quit, which takes you back to the regular screen. You go back into your matrix menu, scroll over to math, and then you're going to scroll down until you see RREF. Okay, it's option B here. So hit enter. Now it's asking you here, what do you want to RREF? So you want to RREF what we just typed in, which was matrix A. So second matrix, you're going to choose A. And then from there, you should just be able to hit enter, and then you'll get the idea. You'll get the answer here, rather. Now, when you look at this matrix here, the first thing I'm going to do is analyze the last row, okay? Because is the last row any of those two special cases? So let me just jot those down for you real quickly, just as a quick recall. You're really not going to see that much here, but it's always nice to remember this. If you saw a 0, 0, 0 on the bottom, what kind of answer is that? Okay, 0, 0, 0 is infinity. Okay, if you saw a 0, 0, 1, you would have a no solution. Okay, is the last row of that nature? No, it's none of them. So the answer is the last column then. Okay, so 9.5 and 1.2. Okay, so we've got 9.5 and 1.2. All right, now, that's not enough though. Yes, you've got the answer to the entire system, but is that what you're asking here? They want to know, what is the cost of a small pizza? Now, these variables that you have here, this intersection point that you found using the calculator, it's going to go in the order that you wrote out your equations. So that means, you see how you wrote P first, which means that this has got to be P, and this is S. So between these two numbers here, they want to know what's the cost of a small pizza? Well, here it is, P for pizza. So the answer is $9.50. Okay, so just to sort of recap, what did I do here? I set up my two equations, okay, clearly labeled my variables, and got all that set up, entered it into the calculator, and then this popped up, this intersection point, 9.5 and 1.2. Now, it asked you for what was the cost of a small pizza. So, okay, so I had to decide which one of these was going to be pizza. Well, since you put pizza first, the first number in your intersection point is pizza. This 1.2 is the salads. Okay? All right, let's look at number 2. 2 is a little bit more challenging. All right. A store sold 430 t-shirts in one weekend for a total of $4,985. The adult t-shirts cost $14, and the children's t-shirts cost $8.25 each. How many adult t-shirts did the store sell? Okay, now, we're dealing with two variables here. What are the two variables? Right, adult t-shirts and children's t-shirts. So I'm going to just clearly put those down. Adult and children. And then they actually give you some totals, right? So I'm going to put a total down here. Now, what are these two side things? How are we going to compare these? Do you happen to know what they may be? Okay, well, it tells you that the store sold 430 t-shirts, but did they tell you how many children's t-shirts they sold? No, they only told you how much they cost. Did they tell you how many adult t-shirts there were? No, it just gave you the total amount for those as well. So our two side things are going to be how many, because we don't know how many actually. We know how many total that they had, but we don't know how many adults and children's t-shirts they actually had. And the other piece of information that they give us was the cost. Okay? And this is what makes this a little bit more challenging. Okay? Now, for adult, how many? Did they tell you how many adult t-shirts they sold? Don't say it's 430 now, because the store sold 430 t-shirts total. Okay? As far as adult t-shirts go, they don't tell you, so I'm going to label that X, because we don't have that amount there. Okay? Did they tell you how many children's t-shirts that they sold? Again, no, so I'm going to label that Y. However, they did give you something. How many total t-shirts did they sell between the two items? Right, they sold 430. Okay, now let's talk about cost. Did they tell you how much an adult t-shirt cost? Yes, they did. It's right here. $14. So I'm going to call that 14X. Okay, did they tell you how much children's cost? Right here, $8.25. So 8.25Y. And how much money did they make total? Right here, $4,985. Okay, that's the hardest part of this whole thing, is trying to get the system set up. But then again, you know that you're going to have these two variables. You know you're going to have two equations. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this one into our calculator. That way we can get what the intersection point was. Okay, so again, let's turn it on. Second matrix, go over to edit. And so we've got 1, 1, 430. Then we've got 14, 8.25, and 4985. Okay, so we've got it all in there. Now, second quit. Second matrix, go over to math. And we want to go down to RREF. There it is. And we want to, what do we want to RREF? We want to RREF the matrix A that we just typed in. So second matrix, A, and then hit enter. Okay, and so this is what pops up, 250 and 180. Now, let's read the question one more time. It says, how many adult t-shirts did the store sell? Well, since you put adult first, this has got to be adult, which means that this 180 would be the children. So the answer to this question is they sold 250 t-shirts. Okay? All right. Last one, number 3. And then I will give you guys a few problems to try. Okay? Sam and Jesse went to lunch together. Sam paid $5 for a hamburger and a drink. Jesse paid $13.50 for 3 hamburgers and 2 drinks. What is the cost of 1 drink? Okay, so automatically, what are your 2 variables here that you read? Right, a hamburger and a drink. Okay, and then of course we have some sort of total in the end. Okay, and what are the 2 side comparisons here? Who's getting the hamburgers? Who's getting the drinks? Right, we've got Sam and Jesse. Okay, so Sam, how many hamburgers did Sam order here? So let me read it again. Yeah, that's right. I don't see it. Do you? No, the only information I have on Sam is that he paid $5. So how many hamburgers did he order? I have no clue. I'm going to call that X. Okay. How many drinks did he order? Okay. Again, I don't see that with Sam, so I'm going to call that Y. But I do know he only paid $5. Okay. Now Jesse, on the other hand, we have some information on him. Okay, so Jesse paid $13.50 for 3 hamburgers. Okay, he must have been real hungry. Okay, and he ordered 2 drinks, so 2Y. Okay, and he paid a total of $13.50. Okay. And we want to know, what is the cost of 1 drink? That's the idea here. That's the big question. So, get that into your matrix real quick. One, 1, 5, 3, 2, 13.50. Okay, gonna kind of speed this up a little bit here. Second quit, second matrix, and I want RREF, and there it is. So we get 3.5 and 1.5. Now, what is the cost of 1 drink? So which one of these numbers is going to be the drink? Well, remember, you put hamburger first, so that means that this has got to be hamburger. Which, are we interested in hamburgers? No. Okay, drinks? Yes, we are. So the cost of one drink was $1.50. Okay? So, in the next video, you're going to go ahead and try 2 problems, see if you got the idea of this, and we'll see you back with you soon.